I graduated in 2000. I've not been back since. A lot of the buildings have changed, but the layout still looks a little bit similar. There's a lot of things to share, like, do we have an hour or two for this? It's a bit of a story. Alright, so when I came in here, I was kind of wondering where's the canteen, because the clock tower is here. That means the canteen should have been somewhere here, but it's not the parade square. Which is interesting because back then my parade square used to be here, where the car park is now. Then to see that it's now become a secondary school general office and primary school general office. Back then I only remember it only had one general office, so yeah. I am just kind of wondering whether can I find my old classroom. So my experience in this school is a mixture of positives and negatives. And this path we are walking on, again I think I might have gotten it wrong, but this was where, I think it's somewhere here, or either there, it's where the discipline master's office used to be. I was a regular. Recess time I had to be here with my lunchbox outside because they saw me as a disruptive kid. I had to do my math homework and math books or whatsoever outside the discipline master's office. So as my friends were playing football in P5 and P6, I was the one doing math textbooks outside. I feel like we should sit down and I can really share with you more as I go about it. Okay, wow. Wow, okay. It definitely smells a lot cleaner than my time. And I hope not to break the chair. I think I was a bit noisy, a bit too, hey, look at me, look at me. I wanted that kind of attention. I know there was a part of me that wanted to be the cool guy, wanted to be the guy that everyone liked in class. So I think because of that, and it's such a forced act, it led me to become something else. There were very little non-Chinese. I think for me, I was the only one that was like Korean, Indian, Portuguese. There was no hint of Chinese blood in me. Honestly, when I was in primary 1, I didn't think too much about it. But as you got older and you realize like, hey, some of the insults that I'm getting, some of the banter that I'm getting, is not normal. Like, I don't hear other people making fun of someone else's skin color. So some of the teachers would always say the words, oh, ignore them, they make fun, just ignore them, don't give them fuel to add to the fire. I'm 8. How do you explain to an 8-year-old what ignore them is? I think that's very tough. I would stand up to my bullies, I'll push them, and they'll do what footballers do, they'll take a dive, and they'll drama a little bit, and everyone will be like, oh, Joakim. So somehow, after that racial insult, when I react in not a good way, I get in trouble because I pushed him and I put hands on him. And back then, the teachers weren't really equipped to deal with these things, but I'm pretty sure it's different now. I'm pretty sure the schools want to give them the adequate knowledge on how to handle such incidents if there is a minority race in the class. Some of the teachers here were very supportive of me. They were very encouraging and say, actually, Joakim, you're a good boy, There's actually a teacher where I bumped into her, tapped me on my shoulder. It's like Zhou Jing, my Mandarin name, Joakim Zhou Jing. And she goes, Ding 老师. Then she, wow, 你还记得我? I said, yeah, I will never forget you. I told her in my broken Mandarin, 我永远不会忘你，因为你 And I said this word for word, 你鼓励我很多次. I know it's wrong in Mandarin, the phrasing is wrong, but I said you really helped me out and you gave me a lot of good advice and support. I won't forget how you were very kind to me and you always stood by me and you're very supportive, She tagged me in a picture, which I hope I have it here somewhere. We took a picture together and she said, I'm very proud of you, good to see you doing well now. And I said, oh, thank you very much, it really means a lot to me as well. Yeah, it's still here. I think they've changed the layout a little bit, but this entire stretch here was where my primary 4 and primary 5 classroom were. So the reason why I remember where my primary 4 class used to be is because the chapel is right here. The chapel is still the same, it's not changed. There were times where it might get a bit too much for me, and I knew this place would always be very quiet, so I'll come here. It still feels very surreal that this space looks exactly the same. I think they did not touch this place at all during renovations because the floor tiling and even the pews, I won't be surprised if it's from my time. Yeah. So there'll be times during recess where, you are an angry 6 to 12-year-old kid, life gets too much, you're looking for some sort of healing and peace and comfort. Come to the quietest place. It's not the library, it's the chapel. I'll just sit here and tear up a little bit and cry. Then I'll look and I'll go like, why life so difficult? Why am I getting bullied? Yada 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 yada. But you're on the cross. I'm sure you must have had a tougher life than I have. I remember coming in here and I would pray for things like strength, peace, discernment. So I did find a bit of peace and solace here. And this became, in a way, my hiding place for a while. As I got older, I remember being a little bit skeptical about a few things. I had questions to ask. And I think everyone at a certain phase in life will have the same experience as well. Your journey with God is bilateral. It's just between you and God. Nobody else has to know, unless you want to share your journey in your testimony. Alright, so we're currently at New Age Bishan Park. But during my time, in the late 90s and 2000s, especially in primary school, it wasn't like this. Like, the McDonald's wasn't even here yet. It was just a patch of grass, and primary school boys being primary school boys, one soccer ball, patch of grass, go and play. And we'll use our school shoes as a goalpost. I don't think there was a difference on how I was treated. I think how they treated me in school, despite playing football, if there were insults or I did something that they deemed uncool, it might come out again. So I don't think there's like a football Joakim or a primary school Joakim. It's just Joakim. When someone asks me the question about which race or culture I identify with, I give the most cliche answer and say I think I identify as being Singaporean because I'm open to everyone's cultures and beliefs. Like, I think the common stereotype is, oh, you're Indian, that means you celebrate Diwali. The answer is no. Yes, I'm Indian, but I'm Roman Catholic. Like, we observe Good Friday, we observe Christmas. Anybody invites me over to their place for Chinese New Year, I'll go over and have fun. I'll win your money, I hope. If anybody invites me to their place for Hari Raya, I'll try to find baju and I'll wear it and go. I mean, I won't, of course, burn joss sticks or carry the kawadi or whatsoever, but to be there in the moment, to embrace their culture, to embrace someone else's beliefs, I stand strongly for that. I think I never was confused about my religion and faith. I think I was confused about being accepted as a person, or for my race, or for the lack of better two words, my skin color. My religion never did play a part because when I was at church, it's really like, if you're Catholic, you go through the same motion, you go through the same beliefs. There's no different way to do about it. Catholics come from all walks of life. You have Chinese Catholics, you have Indian Catholics, you have Eurasian Catholics. There are people from all races that come together to attend the same thing. So I didn't hear any like, oh, you black this, or you brown that, or you white that. No, I didn't hear that. In there, when you see people of different races praying to that same God that you believe in, I think it's universally accepted. I got older, past my 20s, where you had a bit of independent thinking. So I had plenty of questions, and somewhere along the way I kind of lost faith a little bit. I want to try to regain that same belief I had as a kid. So yeah. So every Sunday, right, if I attend Mass with my mom, in the mornings or evenings, she will always insist to sit here. Like right here. Like, choke for me, I was like, okay, but why so close? Just sit behind. No, must sit here. I was like, okay. So I'll be the quiet one. I'll just sit here and wait for a while. She'll come up the stairs and she'll sit next to me. Yeah, this is where we sit. We are at Christ the King. This is the parish church that my mom and I will come to every Sunday, or at least I try to come every Sunday. 2015, 2016, I stopped going for a while. It's not that I stopped believing, but it's more of there are just some things where I hear or some things that people practice that go to church I sometimes disagree with, or I also have a lot of questions. So I think it was Christmas of 2022. My mom, she was like, come with me lah, come back to church with me. Initially I was like, Ma, you go, let your journey with God and Jesus be bilateral. But upon her insistence and you want to spend more time with your mom, right? So I said, okay, I'll come with you. That could have been my first Mass in a very long time with her, and then from then on, I tried to keep going regularly. Everybody, no matter what religion you are in, you might have questions. You might one day ask yourself, or even ask someone up there, like, hey, is what I'm believing in correct? Is it the one true God and all that? So I believe you might go through a phase like that in life, and hopefully when you come out of it, you have more answers than questions. I feel that as an adult, if I didn't have faith in this period of time, I have this feeling I think I might still be the same person, stressed about how much is in the bank, stressed about where's my future going, stressed about work matters. I think having faith and having someone to believe in, someone to turn to when times are really dark and grey, someone up there listening to you, even though it shouldn't be the only case, I think it helps to ease the burden and also ease the stress. With faith, it makes the journey easier for me at least. Every Sunday is just a reminder to humble yourself in front of God. Remember that we are all sinners. Jesus died for our sins. Having someone die for your potential mistakes and your mistakes, I think that could be one of the more humbling feelings ever. Coming back to church was more of spending time with mom, but then now I've realized that I'm on my own journey. I don't really have the answers yet, but I acknowledge that I'm walking on my own journey.